Hello, good morning. My name is Siri Gamage. I am a resident of Armidale, and today I wish to talk a little bit about this proposal by Armidale Regional Council last week, that is on 24th of April 2024, for a rail trail proposal between Armidale and Ben Lomond. Actually, the first stage, according to the council papers, is between Armidale Station and Dumaresque Station. So, according to the information presented to the councillors for their endorsement on last Wednesday, this 9.8 kilometer mini rail trail is to be built by using the 5.4 million grant received from the Black Summer Bushfire Recovery Fund. And the council staff, particularly the Chief Planning and Activation Officer, who is responsible for this paper presented to the council and the recommendations, was seeking council approval to give authority to the general manager to sign deeds for the lease and for the grant, 5.4 million grant. This grant was originally given for the section between Black Mountain and Ben Lomond, about 34 kilometers. I think this was granted in 2022. Now this is 2024 now. So the grant had not been accepted by the Armidale Regional Council yet, but instead of that 34 kilometer section between Black Mountain and Ben Lomond, now it is asking the council to approve a mini rail trail project of 9.8 kilometers. When you divide this 5.4 kilometer, sorry, $5.4 million grant by 9.8 kilometers, it comes to about over $550,000 per kilometer. I believe with this kind of money, council can even upgrade the rail line so that community groups like NERI and company like Northern Regional Railway Company can run their heritage trains north of Armidale. But there are more problems emerging in this proposal than what it tries to solve. One of the problems is that why the council is not considering building a cycle track and a walking track either on the side of the existing rail line or by using the service road or along the Buralong road so that people can travel to Dumarek Dam picnic area and other locations. I mean, when you look at the history of this New England Rail Trail from around 2016, one can see that the council, not only our Armidale Council, but also Glen Innes Council, have shown a bias, preference towards rail trail over any other proposals for use in the rail line for train services. A responsible council, which runs on the basis of ratepayers' contributions, need to look at all options before proceeding with one option. For example, council should have done an independent feasibility study, credible feasibility study, not that 6-page AEC study conducted in 2018, which was only a desktop study and largely discredited by now, given its methodology. So this council never seriously considered commissioning a sort of independent feasibility study to see whether future rail services can be operated along this line from Armidale to Queensland border at least. That is the section that belongs to New South Wales. So, and also the second problem with this proposal is that the paper presented by the Chief Planning and Activation Officer says that once the grant is approved by the relevant funding authority, that means to divert that 5.4 million from that section between Black Mountain and Ben Lomond to the section 9.8 kilometer section between Armidale and Dumaresque. Once that grant is approved, then everything will be all right. But that is not the case as far as we are concerned. And we have been informed by both ministers of regional development, regional New South Wales actually, and Minister for Regional Transport that to give approval to a rail trail, a council has to satisfy the requirements mentioned in the New South Wales Rail Trail Framework 2022. There are 3 requirements according to that framework. First one is a credible, satisfactory business case. Second one is evidence of community support. And the third one is a statement of environmental and biosecurity impact. So that is only when these 3 criteria are satisfied that the minister will consider a rail trail plan by a council for approval and preparing a regulation to the parliament. But in this, in the paper presented, 5-page paper presented last week, this any reference to this New South Wales Rail Trail Framework or the requirements in it are not mentioned. I mean, for example, has Armidale Council already submitted evidence of community support to the relevant minister or the department? We are not sure. So to say that, once the grant is approved, things can proceed is not right. The approval, to obtain the approval from the minister, council has to do more work. And while pending that approval, asking the councillors to support this whole rail trail plan between Armidale and Ben Lomond, consisting of about 68 kilometers, and the first section between Armidale and Dumaresque is unreasonable. And also, the Armidale Regional Council doesn't have the full funding yet for this particular rail trail. I mean, according to our calculations, at least about 30 million is required for the whole section. And And the papers show that in addition to this 5.4 million bushfire grant, council officers have applied for another grant, 1.8 million grant, requiring a co-payment from the Armidale Council of 1.8 million. That means if that proceeds, ratepayers have to bear the cost of cost to the tune of 1.8 million for this rail trail. And of course, the council has applied for another grant amounting to 21 million. And all these grants, decisions about these grants are pending. And the council's papers show that the decision to divert the 5.4 million grant from Black Mountain to Ben Lomond section, 34 kilometer section, to Armidale Dumerous section is pending. And it says that the decision was expected in April. Now this is May. We don't know whether the approval has been provided anyway. I wish to draw your attention to another area of concern, that is the maintenance and operation cost of this rail trail to the council and ratepayers ultimately. In the council paper, under 1.9 item, it states that it will cost 102,000 per annum. 102,000 per annum. According to that figure, roughly for 10-year period, if it is 102,000 per annum, you have to multiply by 10 to get the 10-year total. And when I looked at the maintenance and operation cost of other rail trails in northern rivers, for example, Tweedshire Rail Trail and the Richmond Valley Rail Trail, in their business papers, they indicate the maintenance and operation cost is over 200,000. If we apply that figure to Armidale to Ben Lomond Rail Trail, then it comes to about 6 million over the 30-year period. 30-year period is a reference period because council is going to apply for the lease of corridor for 30 years. So as ratepayers, we have to be concerned about how much are we going to be responsible for maintaining this rail trail. And mind you, I mean, the council is not going to get a cent from the operation of this rail trail. It is only expenses. So therefore, I mean, we have to be very careful about, and councillors have to be very careful about committing or approving such a project, which has a lot of liabilities in terms of maintaining. And also the council has to be responsible for insurance, public liability insurance. And if any accidents happen along the way, then of course there has to be some responsibilities, which comes with the cost. And in terms of funding, while these uncertainties exist, why should the councillors approve or endorse such a proposal? And then another concern we have is about the estimated visitor numbers and the income to be generated from this rail trail. According to the papers, it says that about 9,000 daytime visitors are to be expected between Armidale and Ben Lomond section, 68 kilometer section. And then also a little bit over that figure to be expected as overnight stays. But if you look at the Halliburton report, which Public Works based their estimates on, it says to achieve such a number, council has to spend more money on promotion and marketing. We don't know the amount of marketing and promotion budget or cost that needs to be ready once the rail trail is completed. And also more importantly, it says, Halliburton report says, that the estimated number of visitors to the region and income can be expected only after 5 years of promoting the rail trail and marketing the rail trail. So that means if rail trail is completed in 2025, we have to wait until 2030 to realize the estimated number of visitors to the region and the income. So this is really concerning. I mean, this is not going to provide immediate results, economic benefits, social benefits to the region, because it is going to be a new rail trail. And then, of course, it has to be promoted and known among people outside who wish to come here. And the other thing is when a rail trail is, sometimes, proponents of rail trail quote from other rail trails elsewhere that has been successful. I agree that some rail trails somewhere else, other places have been successful because there are already either tourist attractions for those areas or the rail trails are closer to metropolitan areas like Melbourne and Sydney or in Perth, Adelaide. But in our case, it is not the case. Our existing rail service takes about 8 hours from Armidale to Sydney. So, how can we expect, people in Sydney or even other places, Newcastle and so on, to get onto a train and come here to ride this rail trail? I understand that cyclists can't carry their cycles in the existing train. If they want to carry their cycles, they have to dismantle it and put it into a box and then transport it. What an inconvenience. So in terms of then these estimates also, there are problems. And the main concern that supporters of train services, so reactivating the rail line for train services between Armidale and Queensland border, the main concern we have is we are not against a bike track or walking track. Actually, it is wonderful if the council can build another cycle and walking track. If you look at the Armidale Council strategic plan 50,000, recently they wanted submissions from feedback from the community. It actually proposes several cycleways between the 3 housing zones that they are proposing. I believe one is going towards the blue along the Castle Doyle Road. We support that. We support that kind of new cycleways. But what we oppose is the removal of the existing train line, which is a main train line between New England and Queensland, to build this rail trail. We ask, why can't the council extend the existing cycle track from Armidale town to UNE all the way up to Dumeric Dam or the picnic area near there? So the picnic area has been upgraded by spending another $4 million from the bushfire grant. So we are very proud of that. So why don't we connect Armidale town, UNE and the Dumeric picnic area with a dedicated cycle track, walking track, so that students can ride between these places, visitors can ride, and walking people who want to do exercise particularly those who go to the university gym can use that walking and cycling path. So there are other options available to the Armidale Council if they are really serious about building another cycle and walking track, covering much more useful sites in our city. So the other issue finally I want to concentrate in this video is the community division that has been created as a result of this proposal. From the beginning, as I said before, Armidale Regional Council has been supporting rail trail over any other proposals to use the rail line for train services. This is not the way to go about by a responsible council, particularly a mayor. The council and the mayor has to bring together the community, maintain community harmony and cohesion, rather than letting two camps fight with each other or accuse with each other or to denigrate one side over the other. And we all are working towards the benefits and prosperity of our region where we live. So we are not sort of temporary visitors here. We are long-standing, responsible residents and ratepayers. So we want the best for our community rather than the least. So please, the council and the councillors and the mayor, please even now take a break and focus on whether there is any common ground that can be achieved between these councillors who voted for seeking more information last week, and the community groups who are advocating either the rail trail and the rail services. Please discuss, have a frank discussion with these people and the councillors and come to some kind of consensus to move forward. You probably already know that there is a plan by New England Railway Incorporated and Northern Regional Railway Company to run heritage trains north of Armidale. They have actually, unlike the Armidale Council, they have actually obtained a limited license to carry out a study called a degradation study. At the moment, they are continuing that study to find out the state of the rail line and infrastructure and what kind of repairs are needed. So that is one mini project. They want to restore the two train sets parked near the shed near the Armidale station and run heritage trains. You may remember last year when we had the steam train in Armidale on a weekend to run between Armidale and Uralla, more than 5,000 people booked tickets. So there is a demand for these kind of rail services. And also there is another businessman who wants to relocate his organic food industry to Llangollen and upgrade the rail line from Llangollen to Armidale so that he can transport 20 containers a week to Tamworth Intermodal Terminal. And he is willing to invest his own money, about $7 or $8 million, he says. Publicly, he has said that. So these are mini projects in the pipeline to use the railway line. It should never be allowed to be pulled out to construct a bike track. So the people in this area, as well as the councillors, are faced with a very serious challenge here. I mean, how can we come to some kind of reasonable, sensible, forward-looking decision about this project? And there are much more important projects rather than creating a rail trail along the rail corridor that the council should be focusing on. So I appeal to all of you and the councillors and the mayor in good faith to find a satisfactory solution to this issue which has divided our community, and we need to maintain our community cohesion rather than anything else. And that is when our next generation will be able to enjoy the fruits of our decisions we take today. Thank you.